Hello everybody, it's Phil coming to you once again from Carcraft Classics. Today showing off a cool little convertible just in time for summer. Got a 1980 MGB model. We'll talk about that here in just a minute, but for those of you maybe watching one of my videos for the first time, this is Carcraft Classics. We're located at 321 Canton Road. We're here in Cumming, Georgia, about 30 miles north of Atlanta, about 40 miles from the airport. Phone number for the shop is 470-239-4977. My cell phone is 770-317-1415. Feel free to give me a holler anytime. And for those of you that would prefer to email, the email address is carcraftclassics@gmail.com. And be sure to visit us on the web at carcraftclassics.com. We're a small business, just like most of them in the hot rod industry, classic car industry. So a like and subscribe would go a long way to help me with exposure on the internet. So be sure to click that thumbs up below, and it certainly will help, as I said. If you like things like classic cars, classic trucks, we also sell neon signs, wheel and tire packages. We do detail work. Just let us know if we can help. Again, my name is Phil. I'm the owner, and my cell is 770-317-1415. And this car came to us from a local gentleman. His name is Leonard, and he was moving out to another state and wanted to make sure that we could find a really good home for his beloved MGB model. Again, it's a 1980. It's not in perfect condition, and we've priced it appropriately, but it does run and drive. It looks great, runs great, gauges work. We'll show you more on that in the interior as we move along in the video. But before we get started, let's take a look at the goodies that come with the car. Of course, it has the convertible soft top underneath the boot back there. It does have the boot. It's also got this top that's trying to slide off the table here. This top, I'm not sure what the actual name of it is, but this would be more of a top that would cover the whole interior if you didn't want to put the top up, and let's say you left it in a parking lot. One of the zippers needs to be replaced, but other than that, it's in pretty decent shape. Doesn't have a lot of holes, or it's not torn up. Those little humps there are built for the tops of the seats. So this is a custom fit MGB top. We've also got the steering wheel, the factory steering wheel that was removed. It's got a wood grain steering wheel in it now. It also comes with this driver's handbook, special tuning information for the engine. This car has been in their family, Leonard's family, for quite some time. I believe, I wrote myself a little note, since 1986 they've had the car, and they've taken great care of it. This binder includes a whole host of receipts for parts that were purchased over the years for the car, and you can tell they obviously cared for it, realized it was a classic, and that the next owner would be very interested in hearing the total history of the car and all the new parts that were put on there, even handwritten notes about what was replaced and when. Really a good sign when you're looking at a classic car if you can get history like that with the vehicle. It not only helps paint the picture of, where the car's been and what's been done, but it shows that the previous owners really cared for the vehicle. You got the old MGB hat still in the plastic bag, a set of jumper cables. All this stuff will be in the trunk, or as they say in Europe, the boot. And you got to have a pair of brown British racing gloves to go with the car that haven't even been worn yet. So we've got those to go with the car as well. And as I mentioned before, let's see if we can get this camera straightened out. As I mentioned before, this particular car has been in Leonard's family since 1986. It bounced back and forth between him and his brothers while they went to school. And when they were all done with school around the year 2000, the uncle took over the car and fully restored the car. What did he do? He replaced the engine. It had a 4-cylinder 1980 model engine in it. But if you know anything about cars, you know in the 80s, engines weren't great. So when it was time to either replace or restore the engine, the uncle went the route of grabbing a factory 1978 MGB model engine and putting it in there. Still has the factory 4-speed manual transmission. He added a Weber carburetor. I don't think it came with Webers originally, so that was an upgrade. It got a new windshield, new carpet, that steering wheel I mentioned to you before, and a full exhaust system. Also added during this restoration was a new stereo. The brakes were gone through, and got a new alternator. You can see that new alternator right there. Got a new fuel pump and a fuel line. So this baby's ready to roll. It's been maintained. As a matter of fact, when it came to the shop, we did a full tune-up, put all new spark plugs in there, as you can see. And she starts, runs, and drives excellent. What a fun little convertible for summertime. You can see there, it's got power brakes, disc up front, drum in the rear. Electronic ignition right there. Looks like a factory radiator. All the gauges work, and it doesn't indicate that it's overheating, so I have to think that that radiator is doing its job. I think it's an 1800cc motor is what was installed. Again, it was a 78 model. Don't quote me on the cc's, but I believe that was what was installed in the car. The only thing to my knowledge that's not working is the blower motor for the heat, which is right there, and it may just be like a ground issue or something. We could certainly look into that if you'd like. One of the advantages of buying from Carcraft Classics is we do have a mechanic on staff, so we can tweak and change and slightly customize your vehicle if you'd like. But this sweet little MGB, again, runs and drives. It's ready to go right now. As we say in the industry, it's turnkey. All right, let's get this hood down. There we go. How would I describe the paint? The paint is not perfect. It's a little bit dull, but it's not bubbling, it's not flaking off, it's not cracked. It does not need paint at this moment. The one blemish on the car, it looks like maybe somebody drove by and whacked the mirror really hard, and it made a crack at the top of this passenger door, as you can see right there. Not really something you have to address right now, but just something I want to duly note. I want to disclose to any potential buyers. Honesty is the best policy, they say, right? So again, it is an 80 model, and people often say, what does MG stand for? I did a little bit of research. I'm no MG guru, but it stands for Morris Garage, and the B model refers to that 4-cylinder engine. They called it the B model engine, and that's how it got the name MGB. Again, the 80 model had to ship it into the United States, you had to have the rubber or polyurethane bumpers. Models prior to the 80, some of them, I'm not sure what year they stopped making them, but they had the chrome steel bumpers, which may have looked better, but weren't as safe. You can see the car is rust-free, the trunk pan exposed, rear wheel wells. Again, the car got a fresh paint job in 2000. I think the uncle did a fabulous job. As you can see there, the factory jack and parts are right there. It does have another one of these GT wheels, as they were commonly referred to. And again, it's just nice to see a rust-free trunk pan. This thing is not falling apart. It's been kept indoors. Again, beloved by Leonard and his family over the years. But begrudgingly, he's ready to get rid of it. Unfortunately, life has taken him in another direction, and he needs to move on from this sweet little red convertible. So somebody's going to get a cool little car that's not going to break the bank. You see the dual exhaust down there. Again, one of the things that was upgraded during the restoration process in 2000 was the full exhaust system. From the factory manifolds back, it got a full exhaust. So you won't have to worry about that right now. And again, the paint has a little bit of a fade to it. I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure if you can see that in the camera. But again, it's not bubbling, it's not flaking off. The car does not need paint. It just looks like a cool little red convertible going down the road. Rubber is good. I think it got 4 new tires last year, I think Leonard told me. Vent windows are fine, top goes up and down. Rear window is a little cloudy, I'll show you that in a few minutes. Like they all are, unfortunately, but you do have the convertible top. It's manual, of course, and then you have the boot, and you also have that third top option back there that I showed you before that covers the entire interior, that would, you know, commonly be used if you had to park it outside, you wanted to leave the top down, you didn't want to have the interior fill up with leaves or any kind of, you know, trash, or if you're just going into the shopping center and you didn't want your interior to heat up to 1,000 degrees on a sunny day, you could use that top as well. But it needs a zipper, and it needs a heavy duty zipper. But I have snapped it in. It does fit, just like the boot here. Such a cool little car. Did come with the optional, this particular car came with the optional luggage rack. So if you really want to look cool going down the highway, you can throw a vintage, strap a vintage bag to that, that luggage rack, and voila, it's 1970 all over again. So she's cool, rust-free, straight body, good set of wheels, good set of tires. Brakes have been gone through, as I mentioned before. Alternator's been replaced. Electronic ignition upgrade's been done. It's got a whole host of little parts that were replaced over the years that I mentioned to you before, including these little light bezel rings that go around the headlights, the windshield. And for some reason, the windshield frame on these cars, I've seen them get really chewed up. I'm not really sure, but this one is in great shape. She's a beauty. Pin straight down the sides. I don't see any areas of Bondo, any kind of waves. Body's pretty straight, or actually pin straight. Don't see any problems beneath the doors or anything like that. As you can see, she's a beauty. Lights work, gauges work. Even the clock was ticking, I noticed before. So again, just a well cared for little convertible, British convertible, ready for the road. I think they made these from like 62 to 1980, I think is when they built them. So this would be one of the last ones off the line, which is kind of cool to have as well. So we've got this bright racing red, let's call it, with the interior, the desirable black. Dashboard's in excellent shape, as you can see. It's not all cracked up, beaten to death. There's that wood grain steering wheel I mentioned to you that's been upgraded. We'll take a look at the gauges in a moment. Got the matching shifter knob, the MG wood grain shifter knob. It's got, I believe, a Blaupunk stereo system. The only thing in here I know that doesn't work is the fan for the heat. I don't think you'd be driving this car too much in the heat of winter. I'm sorry, the cold of winter. Sill plates were also added during the restoration. You can see even in the door jambs, it's not all rusted up. Door panels are in excellent shape as well. Like I said, just a cool old European convertible. Doors open and close great, seal good. A little two-seater for the sunshine, take it to the beach. Just those gauges. She reads 129,000 miles. I believe that to be correct. See the clock ticking? I wasn't lying to you. Seats are in great shape as well. Got a little fuzzy right here, got to get that off. Again, door panels are in great shape. Door sills, rocker panels in good shape as well. Give you a good look at this seat. Driver's seat, which of course is always chewed up on all these old vehicles. But this one's in great shape. Not torn, tattered, or no holes in it. No excessive wear. Nothing on the interior needs to be replaced anyway. At all, I should say. Let's see here. Let's fire this baby up. There she goes. Didn't even have to pump the gas. Fires right up. For somebody maybe that's looking to get into the classic car hobby, or always wanted a little British sports car, doesn't have a huge budget, or maybe somebody who's got, been in the hobby for a while but wants a car that, they can bang around town with and don't have to worry if, God forbid, it gets hit with a shopping cart or you get a little chip from a rock or something like that. This is just a driver quality red convertible that you don't have to sweat about. You just drive it around and have some fun. And again, for that person that doesn't have the excessive budget to pick out the car of their dreams, I hope that day comes for you. But if that day is not today, this car certainly is not going to break the bank. We'll talk about price and some other things here in just a moment. Not going to pull any wheelies, but it'll get you down the road and you'll have some fun shifting, going through those gears and cruising with the top down. Good oil pressure, doesn't overheat. It's even got a little handle on the dash for as it chokes, so if it is a little cool out, a little choke handle right there on the dash, if it is a little cool out, you'll be able to fire this baby up without pumping it a million times. She's cool. All right, let me shut it off. Now, on my website, carcraftclassics.com, carcraftclassics.com, carcraftclassics.com. Click on inventory if you want to see more of this car. It's a little hot out here, so I'm not going to switch tops or put the top up and down and do all that stuff. But on my website, there'll be extensive photos of this vehicle. The undercarriage, the exterior, the interior, and most importantly, there's pictures of the car with the top up. There's pictures of the car with that other optional top that I told you about, sitting on the car. It's too hot out here. I decided while I'm shooting this video, it's a little bit hot. Start messing around with that top. So again, there'll be still shots on my website of all three top options, up, down, and that third top option I mentioned to you before. All right, so the asking price for this pretty little convertible is $7,900. $7,900, turnkey, drop top, ready for summer, bright red, black interior, 4-speed manual transmission, connected to a little 4-cylinder 1978 MGB engine, factory engine. Some slight mechanical upgrades, plenty of maintenance, plenty of receipts to go with the car, in addition to things like the stock steering wheel, which has been replaced. Some other cool things like the MGB hat and racing gloves to go with it, as I mentioned earlier. But a good deal, I think, more than fair at $7,900, and somebody can get out and enjoy this car this summer. We can help with financing. We can also help with shipping. Anywhere in the United States, we can put this car right in your driveway. Just let us know if you need a quote. And any kind of customization or upgrade you want to do to the car, please feel free to run them by me. and I'll be glad to help. I'll be glad to give it a shot, see what we can do for you. Again, my name is Phil. My number is 770-317-1415, or you can reach the shop at 470-239-4977. The car has a clean Georgia title. Will be sold with that and a bill of sale, so you'll be able to get a title in your state. Just let me know if you have any questions. Again, $7,900 asking price. We will consider trades. Clean title, financing available, light customization, shipping as well. So just let me know if you have any questions, and thank you so very much for watching the video. I really, really appreciate it. Be safe out there. God bless America.